Yo, what is up, my fallopian tubers? Cesario from the barrio coming back at you with another video for your butt. Well, I was making my Mickey Mantle run video, and I guess I ran out of storage because I don't know how to make storage on my phone, so I deleted all my videos that I had. So hopefully this one will finish up. But I was at the 62 tops Mickey Mantle. I was saying how I think this wood is mahogany and not maple, uh, like the 87 tops. You got this manager's dream right here of Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays. Man, these two guys, look at that. Man, perfect baseball specimens. Have you ever seen Willie Mays with his shirt off? Man, that dude just ripped and cut up, man. Like he took care of himself. Mickey Mantle, he had the same potential, man, but he drank and partied a lot, man. Mickey Mantle's the ultimate what could have been. And I was talking about in the year earlier in the home run leaders, how Mickey Mantle was first and Roger Maris was second. Well, you guys all know what happened that year. Roger Maris broke Babe Ruth's record, and Mickey Mantle came in second, man. All right, then you got this card right here. Still in the same year, Mickey Mantle has a bunch of cards in this year. The Switch Hitter Connects. All right, look at that, baby. So a lot of these cards right here with the Sporting News right here, this is the All-Star card. You know, they talk about how Mickey Mantle was on pace to break Babe Ruth's record, but then he got injured. So then Roger Maris took him over. And one thing I want to say about this, the wood, man, like the 87 and the 52. If you guys aren't familiar, when you hit with the wooden bat, you got to hit with the grain like this. You know, you can't hit with the flat part of the grain. All right, you got to hit like this, man. If you hit it right here, your bat will break. So you got to hit it with the grain going like this, man. A lot of people, Barry Bonds I think he used to use a maple bat, and since he was so successful in hitting home runs, a lot of people thought, hey, if I use a maple bat, I'll do so much better. But bats were breaking left and right, man. Because if you didn't hit it just right, Barry Bonds was just spectacular at hitting home runs, and he was so great. His bats didn't break as much, but a lot of people trying to use the bats like Barry Bonds were just breaking them, man. I remember collecting so many broken bats back then. Then you got this post cereal, all right, 62 post cereal of Mickey Mantle. I remember I got this not that long ago. I thought it was a steal of a deal. Look at that, baby. It's a blank bag, caught out of a box. But look at that, post cereal. Sicko. You got this 53 Mickey Mantle right here. Look at that, baby. Sweet. I wish he had a smile on there. I love the 53 design. And a lot of these cards back then were constantly talking about Mickey Mantle's home runs in the World Series. So right here, he had 14 home runs in the World Series. And I believe at the time, Babe Ruth had 15 World Series home runs. Then you got this from the 63. I'm talking about the 62 batting leaders. Mickey Mantle on there. He had second place. And this is one of those rare cards where you find the leaders. And Mickey Mantle's probably still the most recognizable. And you got four other guys on here that maybe aren't so recognizable right now, but they had great years, that year. So this was only a $6 card, back then. But check out this Bomber's Best, all right? Sicko. All right, you got Tom Trash, Mickey Mantle, and Bobby Richardson. But look at that card. See how Mickey Mantle's holding both of their bats? They're crossing the bats like an X. And Mickey Mantle's holding both of them. Sicko card, man. Love this card. You know, the little details. Look at that batting cage in the back. You know, almost a lot of the cards back then, the pictures were during BP. I just love the way Mickey Mantle's holding both of their bats to make that X right there. You know, don't cross the streams. Sicko card right there. And then I got the 64 Tops coin. Look at that baby. You know, you know, when I got this coin, I really bought it like because I love the little PSA case. I had never seen such a small little PSA case. I thought it was so cool. You know, and I bought this so long ago. I don't remember. You know, there's like a little bit of rust on there. You see that? So I don't know if the rust has gotten worse or not, but I always wonder, like, you know, because it's graded a 6. So it's like, is it one of those things where it's actually going to get worse in the case, and maybe now if it were to get graded, it would be a 4? I mean, I can't tell. I wouldn't know. You know, and in case you guys don't know, I don't know if I said it, but yeah, man, my video cut out on the first half. So, you know, and then you got this 65 Tops right here. You know, your basic picture, you know, with Mickey Mantle in that pose, the batting cage in the back. Look how long his career had been going by then. This is one of those cards. Bought it so long ago. You know, that's one of the things, man. I'm really fortunate enough that when I got like back into like extra cash flow and went harder into the hobby again, I went after Mickey Mantle because so many of these cards right here, I wouldn't be able to afford anymore. You know, especially back then when I was making like $8 an hour buying all these cards on layaway, which was super expensive to me. Like, just say this $85 card. You know what I mean? I put it on layaway, put 25 bucks down, come back 2 weeks later, put another 25 down, and then come back the next week and put 35 down to take it out. You know, that's the kind of budget I was in. But luckily I did that back then. Look at this, American League Bombers, and you know, a lot of these are gifts. You know, some of these cards in the have lately have been gifts, which, you know, it's like, God bless me, man. It makes me fortunate. But you got Maris, you got Cash, you got Mano, and you got K-Line. You know, Cash, man, what? He batted like 361. Same thing, man. There's a lot of dudes you're going to see in cards like this, just like you'll see now in the future. If you're following baseball right now, they're doing great and you understand why they're on cards like this. But then 20 years from now, someone who didn't watch them play is like, who's this guy? You know what I mean? Because not everybody has the greatest career. You know, some guys have great years, and Orm Cash had a great year. But American League Bombers, man, Maris, come on. K-Line, Mano. And then you got 64 Tops Giant. All right. This set, I completed the 64 Tops Giant set luckily in early on when they were cheap. But it talks about Mantle smashes his 15th, you know, homer. All right, so this is he hit it off Sandy Koufax. All right, to tie the record because Babe Ruth had 15 World Series home runs, and to tie that record, he hit it off Sandy Koufax. Dude, that's storybook. That's storybook. Imagine being alive back then and watching this and him hitting a World Series home run of Sandy Koufax, like the greatest pitcher. That had to be such a great duel to see Koufax versus Mickey Mantle. But yeah, like I said, I completed this set a long time ago, the 64 Giants. I remember back then, a long time ago, before, I think it was before YouTube, and I asked on Instagram, what's the best set to try to start, you know, vintage set to start to try to complete. And so many people said the 64 Tops Giant. And I wasn't really familiar with this set, but everybody said it's so cheap. You can complete that set for so cheap, and it's all great names, you know. So glad I jumped on that train early too back in the days. Oh, and then you got the 65 Tops. Okay, the 65 Tops Mickey Mantle. I've said this so many times that this is like probably one of the best designs ever. I just love that pennant. Baseball wise, you know, I got a pennant here, I got a pennant there. Pennants are baseball. And so this to me is like one of the greatest sets just because it has that pennant there. It's a clean, it has the borders, you know what I mean? And this card itself, I remember when I bought this card, I was so happy. Um, this was right around the time when I bought my Sandy Koufax rookie, you know, and back then, this is still like before YouTube days, you know, before I got so much criticism of how I used to take care of my cards. But before YouTube and I was just on Instagram, this is one of the cards I had on me all the time, along with the 56 Tops Mickey Mantle, the Koufax rookie. Um, and I would take them everywhere. I'd go to the beach, I'd go camping, and I would love to take these cards with me and just photograph them on the mountains. Photograph them. I would dig them into the sand, you know, at the beach and take pictures of them. And so this card I used to always carry it in my backpack. And I I don't know if I don't think I was on YouTube yet, but I was watching YouTube. I remember early morning, like on a Saturday or Sunday, and there was this. I heard a noise outside in my driveway, and I look outside my window and I see some dude by my car. I go outside, and there's this dude by my car, and I start walking up to say, hey, what are you doing? And he acts like he's taking a piss. Hey, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just taking a piss. I'm just taking a piss. And you know, I lived in a ghetto neighborhood, and I understood. I said, hey, well, take your piss and get out of here. And he said, yeah, sorry, man, sorry. And go back in my house, and I keep watching YouTube baseball videos, baseball card videos. I don't think I was making videos yet, still. And and then I heard somebody yell at him or something, and so I go back outside, and I go to my car, and I notice that my backpack is missing. All right, my backpack that I take to Dodger Stadium every day, and not only that, but I had this card, I had my 56 Tops, I had my 55 Sandy Koufax rookie, I had a Jackie Robinson card in there, and it was gone. My backpack was gone, so I kind of freaked out, right? And I was like, "Oh my god, that dude took my backpack!" And I look in the driveway, and there's a bike there. He left his bike there. And I was like, what the hell's going on? And this is one of the things, I don't know if you guys heard me tell this story before. One of the things that kind of I lucked out on is that backpack that I had a hole in it. All right. So with Vintage Sports Card Shack or Paul, I remember putting this in his comments. He was talking about bazooka gum. But back in the day, I would after every game I go in the dugout and I would take a handful of gum and I put it in my pocket, and then when I go home I put it in my backpack. Well, this backpack, I ended up having a hole in it. So it was a classic Hansel and Gretel story. There was a trail of Bazooka Joe bubblegums leading out towards the backyard and over the fence. So over that other fence there was a dead end street, you know. So I grabbed his bike that he left in my driveway. He just took off running, I guess. And I grabbed his bike and I take the bike all the way over to the dead end. And riding down the dead end, I'm looking for him and I don't see him. And then I get by this driveway to some apartments, some ghetto apartments back there, and I see the trail of gums, of the Bazooka Joe gums. So I go back there, and this dude is inside the trash bin of these apartments. He's inside the trash bin, and he's basically emptying out my backpack in there. And I said, "Hey, that's my fucking backpack and this and that and this, and I start yelling at him, and he's, I'm sorry. And I said, dude, get all my stuff out of there. I had my Dodger check in there. Like I had just got, I would get my Dodger checks on Saturday. My Dodger check was in there, and he had thrown it in the trash. I'd say, pull all my stuff out of there, because he was emptying out my backpack and just throwing everything in the trash. And the crazy thing about it, because this was so long ago, before the baseball card world exploded, he threw all my baseball cards in the trash. He didn't keep them as valuable. So I mean, I had my 56 tops Mickey Mantle, the 65 Mickey Mantle, the Sandy Koufax rookie. I had a Jackie Robinson. He just threw them in the trash. He didn't think they were valuable. They weren't valuable to him. And I told him, get all my shit out of there. And he put all my shit back in the backpack and gave it to me. And then I was leaving, and he's like, "Hey man, you've been selling crack to my sister, meth to my sister." And I was like, "Man, I don't fucking know. I don't fucking sell shit." I told him I don't do anything. And he's like, "Yeah, man, my friend told me that you sell this to my sister and this and that." And I said, "Man," and then this dude was tatted, like just tatted up and down with like gang related tattoos, but I couldn't see what gang he was from. And you can't, if you're from the hood, you can't mess around with people like that, because they'll get their people to come after you. And basically, he knew where I lived, and I knew nothing about this guy. So it's like you can't do anything really. But he started yelling at me, and he's all like, "Man, it is not." And I just grabbed his bike. I was gonna take off on his bike, and I ended up grabbing it and just body slammed it. Like, I remember I body slammed his bike, and I said, "Man," I go, "We're done, dude." I go, "I ain't," and then I just left, and I walked back to my house. But that was the last time I really started doing that, because before I was on YouTube and I was on Instagram, I carried my cards with me everywhere to take pictures of when I went camping, when I went to the beach, when I went to the mountains. And I started carrying them in my backpack, because like I didn't want that to happen again. So I don't know, this that's what I just think about when I think about this car, when that dude took my backpack. The 65. Then you got this 65 right here, the American League home run leaders, with the killer Yastrzemski, Mickey Mantle, and then you got Boog Powell. Now Boog wasn't his real name. When he was growing up, his little sister, used to call him Booger, and so then eventually the name stuck, and he just stuck with Boog. But his little sister used to call him Booger. That's how that name got there. You got the RBI leaders. This is from the 65 of the 64 guys. So you got Mickey Mantle there. You got Brooks Robinson, the human vacuum, Killebrew, and Dick Stewart. And still keeping up with 65, man. So many Mickey Mantle cards in there. You got the 64 World Series, Game 3. So this is when Mickey Mantle broke Babe Ruth's record, I believe, right? Let me read this just to be sure. Yeah, Mantle 16th broke Babe Ruth's record. All right, so that's what this is a tribute to right there. You got this 65 embossed Tops card. These cards, man, it's when I first seen them, I used to love them. I thought they were the sweet cards. And just kind of one of the things that changed my mind on these, like, not changed my mind, I still love them. But when you just look at the embossed, the pictures look decent, like, yeah, that's Mickey Mantle. But then I've seen cards where people outline them, draw the outline of these cards, and then they don't look like the player. So that kind of like, it doesn't really look like the player anymore. But still, does that look like Mickey Mantle to you? But still, sweet cards. All right. You got this Mickey Mantle right here, 66. It's kind of a basic card, right? Batting cage in the back, same stance. That's one of the things about the 65. It's his backswing. Back then, that was a rare that you saw a card with the backswing. It was normally always the batting stance. But still a sweet, sweet card. Then you get with the 67 tops. Now this card, if I had to rank them, if I had a gun to my head and I had to rank them, this is what I always say, like, maybe this is my least favorite, just because it looks like it's like a DUI picture. You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't so much look like a baseball card photo. At least he's smiling, but I don't know, man. It looks like a DUI picture. Like, it just looks like a mugshot. Doesn't look like a baseball card photo. It's like if the flash is too bright and you see the shot. I don't know, man. Still love it, but yeah, that's just the first thought that always pops into my head. You know what I mean? Sweet, sweet card. Look at how long his career is getting. And then this card is not one of the cards that was on the tops playing cards set registry or whatever you want to call it. I remember it was in a Beckett magazine, uh Mickey Mantle, like, tops playing era run. And that's why I made my checklist at first of all the cards that I wanted of Mickey Mantle. So that's why it's the tops. And that's why I didn't have the Bowmans on there. It was the tops player era run. But this card wasn't on there. But to me, when I seen it, it's like, well, it's Mickey Mantle and it's his playing day, so I had to have it. You know what I mean? Then you got this 67 tops poster. All right, now this right here, this was kind of, I put that Kotex on there because I don't remember what it was, but I just did a video after somebody that was making videos about you know uh, what are they called? Whatever. You know what I mean? But like sponsored cards. Uh, yeah, I'm too drunk, man. When my first video cut out, it took like an hour and a half to upload that video, so I've been drinking this whole time, and I'm just gone. But oddball. So I made a video about oddball cards, and I made oddball things. So this is just one of them, but this is the 67 tops poster card. I think Nate gave me this, man. Sweet, sweet poster. It's called a poster. It's really not that big when you compare it to like a normal card, maybe four of them together. But sweet poster card. The 68 tops, the burlap. You know, I don't think it's the greatest design. Some people love them. I wouldn't say I love it. I don't have a problem with it, but it's a cool card. Look at that, baby. Same thing. The batting stance. I'm just fortunate enough to have bought all these cards, a long time ago. Then you got this superstars from '68 with Harmon Killebrew, the Killer, Willie Mays, and Mickey Mantle. It's hard to believe that both of these guys, their rookies are 51 Bowman cards. So they started at the same time, man. But Willie Mays took care of himself, and Mickey Mantle really did it, man. He lived that golden, that image. Then you got this 68 tops game. This isn't, like I said, my goal was that list that I had, which was tops playing day cards. This wasn't part of it, but I was like, how can it not be? It is a tops card, but it's not part of the basic set. But it's the tops game. And I wish I knew exactly how this tops game is played. I really never did, because then you look at the bags. I really don't know how you would have played this game, but I guess I should look it up. But I just love this card right here. It's a sweet single, you know. And going to one of the things I don't understand is, say, the 69 tops. It's part. It was part of the list, but Mickey Mantle didn't play in '69. He was in spring training in '69, and he just felt his career was over. So before the actual season started, he just called it quits. All right. He just couldn't want. He didn't want to lower his numbers anymore. Mickey Mantle was obviously a great hitter. He hit for average most of his career, but towards the end of his career, he dipped. And then once he went below 300, I think he regretted it because he batted like 298 career. And he's always regretted, like saying, man, I'm a 300 hitter. But, math will tell you career wise at the end, he wasn't, you know. And then you have this checklist to end it off in 69. Like I said, this isn't even on that list that I had originally, but I would consider it because it's just because it has this picture on it. Just like if you're a Roberto Clemente picture collector, you gotta have the checklist with Roberto Clemente on it. So this is the fifth series tops checklist. Mickey Mantle and folks, that'll end it right there. So that is my Mickey Mantle PC right now. I mean I have tons of cards still from after 69, from the 80s, 90s, but I just wanted to show the playing era cards. And so this is pretty much the list right here, what I have. All right. I'm missing the 61 All Star Sporting News. So that's my goal for this year is to get that card. And then I would have the 52 tops. And we'll see how that goes. But, anyways, guys, thanks for joining me and letting me share my Mickey Mantle PC with you guys. Love the hobby. Just keep collecting baseball cards forever, I say. Ciao! Yeah, so Mickey Mantle isn't my favorite player because of his numbers. It's because of his story.